The Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 14. In this chapter, Lord Krishna tells Arjun about the three attributes of nature: sattvaguna, light and goodness; rajoguna, fire and passion; and tamoguna, darkness and evil, and also about what results from them. He also tells about the qualities of those who transcend the attributes, those who rise above the three attributes. Chapter. Lord Krishna says, Parth, I will now tell you about that knowledge which is the supreme knowledge, knowing which sages and the realized ones rose above this world and attained salvation, attained the supreme. Taking the support of this knowledge and becoming like me, they are neither born at the beginning of creation, nor do they die when creation ends, when it dissolves. Great nature is my womb, into which I cast the seed, whereby all beings and things are born, whereby all creation comes into being. Wherever and in whatever form and in whatever womb any birth takes place, great nature is their source womb, and I am the seed giving father. Satgun, light and goodness; Rajagun, fire and passion; and Tamagun, darkness and evil. These are the three attributes born of nature, and it is these that bind the imperishable soul to the body. Of these, Satgun is pure and without blemish or taint. It produces light and frees one from sinful activity. But even Satvagun binds because of the pride of knowledge and the pride of happiness. Rajagun gives rise to passion, desire, and attachment. It binds through action and through desire for the fruit and reward of action. Tamagun results from darkness and ignorance and keeps one under delusion. It binds through carelessness, sloth, and sleep. Satgun engages one in bliss and happiness, Rajagun in passion and action, and Tamagun, veiling one's knowledge, deludes and results in carelessness and sloth. From time to time, from age to age, one of the three attributes dominates and the others weaken. Satgun dominates, weakening Rajagun and Tamagun. Rajagun dominates, weakening Satgun and Tamagun, and similarly, Tamagun dominates, weakening Satgun and Rajagun. When the light of knowledge, when virtue, when the power of discrimination and conscientiousness pervade the entire being and senses of a person, then it must be understood that Satgun is on the rise and it dominates. When greed, when activity, when desire, restlessness, and excessive ambition begin appearing in a person, then it must be understood that Rajagun is on the rise and it dominates. When there is a lack of light, when evil, carelessness, and delusion begin to appear in a person, then it must be understood that Tamagun is on the rise and it dominates. Listen, Parth, after the death of the body, where the soul will go depends on the attribute of nature dominating in the person at the time of his death. If death occurs when Satgun dominates, then his Atma will go to the pure worlds of those knowing the Supreme. It will be born there. If death occurs when Rajagun dominates, then his Atma will be born among people committed to action. And if death occurs when Tamagun dominates, then his Atma will be born in the lower classes of the ignorant and the foolish. The fruit of sattvic action is good and pure. The fruit of rajasic action is sorrow, while the fruit of tamasic action is ignorance and dullness. From Satgun is born knowledge, from Rajagun comes greed, and from Tamagun come ignorance, carelessness, and foolishness. Those who are situated in Satgun rise upwards towards salvation and the Supreme. The ones in Rajagun remain in the middle on the earth itself, while those in Tamagun, always engaged in evil and nefarious activities, fall into hell. When one understands that apart from these three attributes of nature, there is no other doer, and when he also knows the one who is even beyond and greater than these three attributes, then one attains to my form, then one becomes like me. When a person rises above the three attributes of nature, when he transcends sattvaguna, rajoguna, and tamoguna, all born of the body, then he becomes free from birth and death, old age and sorrows, and then he gets eternal life. Arjun's curiosity is aroused. He wants to know more and asks Lord Krishna, Dear Lord, how do we recognize the person who has risen above the three attributes of nature? How is his conduct? And how does he go beyond the three attributes? Lord Krishna explains to Arjun, Parth, the person who has risen above the three attributes of nature is one who, when light, attachment, and delusion are within him, then he does not consider them as bad. And when these go away, or when they are absent, then he does not desire them or hanker after them. He is always satisfied. He is always free from desires. He remains unaffected by the play of the attributes, by all their activities. He remains calm, untouched, and poised, and he understands that it is only the attributes that act and none else. And knowing this, he stands aloof, steadfast, and calm. Such a one considers sorrow and joy as the same. He is always established in his Atma, in his soul. He does not distinguish between mud, stones, gems, diamonds, gold, and silver. He considers all these as the same. He considers good and bad things, good and bad situations and conditions as the same. He is patient. He is the same in praise and in blame, in honor and in dishonor. He behaves in the same way with friends and with foes. He has given up all actions as well as the rewards of those actions. Such a one is great. He is the best. And he is said to have risen above the attributes, to have transcended the gunas, the attributes of nature. The person who, without wavering and with full devotion, serves me, he rises above the three gunas, he transcends the three attributes and reaches the supreme, the absolute. And because I am the dwelling place, I am the abode of the immortal, the imperishable Brahm, and of eternal Dharma, of eternal righteousness, and of supreme bliss. He who, with full devotion, faith, and allegiance, worships and serves me, he rises above the three attributes and he attains to me. End of chapter 14. Om Shanti 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 Om.